I came to realize as my life was evolving, some of my friendships dropped off.
Absolutely.
because
That always happens.
because for whatever reason, I thought we were cool. I thought everything was, the way it was. But obviously, it wasn't that way for them.
Thank you so much, Oyebola and Lola, for that. And I was just commenting Oyebola's mom that it's not easy for her as well. So maybe for both of you, but for her as well, it's not easy. And I'm really happy about your mom, your grandma. I hardly hear of people having grandmas these days, so that's a really nice one. So going on to our second question, friendships, what does it mean to you? Is it a matter of quantity or is it a matter of quality? As in, is it like you have to have a whole bunch of friends or you just have to have a few friends that, you know what they actually say? I actually heard that if you have like 5 friends, that it might be possible that you have one friend for each different thing. So maybe you will have a friend for like business advice, you have a friend for health and fitness, you have a friend for, she's just like the easygoing one. Yeah, let's go. Every time is let's just hang out, let's do this. So you have a different friend, or you have like a whole lot of you yourself. Yeah, that's everybody, everything lives in you. What is it for you, Lola?
So for me, I like my personal space and my personal time. So I know a lot of people, yes, but very few are close to me.
So it's
Quality for me over quantity. But it's interesting that at a point in time, I just felt like I felt alone. And when I say alone, because the people that I was probably closest to, the majority of them are abroad.
Okay.
So I started Ladies Hangout.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So when I started Ladies Hangout, I got some of the people that I'm close to, and then we
Yeah.
started to expand it. So like you said, there are friends that I will call for different things. So
Yeah.
I have one friend that I even met on the day my dad died. I was hosting a hangout that day.
Yeah.
And she came with a friend. And she's probably closer to me than the friend that brought her, because she would call almost every day, Lola, how are you? Grieving, she'll tell
Till
me
now?
grieving is this. Yes, so till now, not every day, but she'll reach out to me
Right.
consistently.
Right.
So sometimes when I just want to talk or just, I will call her. So she's that friend
She's that
for
friend.
that, So there are different people, and so.
Oye Bunty. Oye Bunty is my social butterfly of a friend.
I used to be. Okay, so it was quite interesting because I think my definition of friendship has evolved over time, right? When I was a lot younger, just like Yomi said, I was a social butterfly. Everybody was my friend. In secondary school, university, I was friendlier.
Oye Bunty didn't like me. Story for another day. She thought I was horrible.
So, as I was saying, I had different friends and all that. But I had a core group even then they were made up of like a few friends from secondary school and my cousins, some of my cousins, But having, I came to realize recently, most of my closest friends today are people I met at work. Once I left school, right? So I have a very tiny dot, I won't even call it a circle, of really close friends. And 2 or 3 of them are people I met at work. And the friendships are easy. And what I mean by easy, just like you were talking about your friend, we might not talk for a year. We might not talk for 6 months. But whenever we talk, we catch up like we saw yesterday, and there's no, you didn't call me, why didn't you call me? And I came to realize that a lot of the friendships I thought I had was so much work. You were treading on eggshells. You see somebody's number come up on your phone, your heart to first skip a beat, like, what did I do? What did they say I did now? And then they'll be like, oh, why did you tell this person that? Why did you I found I was having to explain myself. And then this might be a bit controversial, but I came to realize as my life was evolving, some of my friendships dropped off. Because
that always happens.
Because for whatever reason, I thought we were cool. I thought everything was, the way it was. But obviously it wasn't that way for them. So when different things were happening in my life and some of those things were not happening in their lives, they just kind of dropped off. And it took me a while to process it and understand it. And I realized there's such a thing as friendship breakups, that they can even be more traumatic than relationship breakups. So now I'm actually fine with it. I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me.
Absolutely.
I like my time. I go on my solo girl trips. People always say, why do you go alone? Because I don't want to burden anyone and I don't want anyone to burden me. I don't want to work on anybody's timeline.
Absolutely.
If I have an itinerary for 3 days and I decide I'm not going to follow any of them on that trip, it's my
be
choice.
Able to do that. Yes.
Not, but we plan to do this, we plan to do that. Why aren't you? No, I don't want to do that. If I decide to stay in bed all day that day, it's my choice, So the people I have in my life that are my friends, I have a lot of acquaintances who are like my larger circle. For example, if I'm having a party, I can't just have a party with 4 people or 5 people. I would need a larger circle. But my real friends is definitely quality over quantity. The people I can go to the ends of the earth for are very limited.
Would you say they're just about 5 or 3?
Yeah, max.
Do you know that I remember growing up, and I don't know who told me this, but you know that you don't need so many friends.
Absolutely.
You just need that core circle. Now you would meet a lot of people. Definitely.
Yeah.
You've been to primary school, you've been to secondary school, you've been to university, you work, you will do business. So you will meet people along the way.
Definitely.
And then so you have those as your larger network, larger circle of friends. But your core friends are that small circle.
Yeah, very small.
And you don't, again, a friendship that requires you to be...
That's not friendship.
That's not friendship.
No.
That's work. That's not friendship. That's too much work for me. And I even tell my children as well that you don't need too many friends. Unfortunately, I think the one that I even consider a social butterfly out of them, she has like 3 core friends, but she can go out.
Yeah.
For all of us, she can go out, but just 3 or 4 core friends. Forgive me if I'm not mentioning one of them, but yeah, I think they're 4, but I know them. And my son has even less. So I would also say for me, it's quality over quantity.
So, when we're talking about quality, I think I'll pull it back to love. And love, first of all, loving yourself. Because if you love yourself, then you don't need validation from outside.
100%.
That's the thing.
Is it validation though?
It is.
Sometimes.
It is a lot of times when you hear about some relationships, it's some form of validation where, you want to feel important.
No. It's nothing like that. I just want to hang out.
No, but when people talk about friendships, they want to be long. They want to be long. It's so you are working. They too, they're working.
Oh, wow.
Do you understand? So that's why people end up having so many people. But you can't categorize people. You have your friends, you have your acquaintances,
Definitely.
You have your work colleagues. You can,
and that's
put
how
them
it's
in
meant
all
to be,
those
and you're okay
boxes.
with all of them in those different categories.
Exactly.
Something else you said when you said that most of your core friends now are people you work with or people you. I would say that the people that are in that category for me are the people from my secondary school. I have maybe, I don't see them every time as well, but we pick up conversations like it was just yesterday. And I think most of it is because they knew me when I was just
Yeah.
And we got up to escapades together. We were all young and silly and just fun. And we discovered things together as well. So for me, that's a core group. But then I also have a core group again in industry. So I have them in different aspects of life as I grew.
Absolutely.
But then they're also still not so many. If I were to have a party, I would need to invite a whole lot of people, because if I invite just my core, I would never fill a room.
Yeah.
I would need people
that.
and people and people. If I was telling my husband, if we're going to have party, let's go have a joint one, because if me, I do it by myself, the gap there will be too much.
No, I'll do cousins, and then the few friends
even
to
cousins.
make it a house.
Even cousins for me, because
No,
like I
it's
said,
not all cousins.
I'm the last one, so most of my cousins are much older
they're
than me.
older.
So, in fact, I'm happy I don't have contemporaries. I'm okay.
So something I did recently, when we were talking about this core friendship thing and thinking about my friendships, I had people I went to secondary school with that were really close. We were in one another's pockets and we ended up going to university together. And because of life circumstances or situations, you find yourself here, there, wherever, you know. And you just kind of keep in touch on social media, not really having phone calls or conversations and all. So a few friends of mine that we grew up together, we got together on social media and set up a group to hang out, right? So we hang out from time to time. We've done maybe 2 or 3 times, and we stay on a call, like a video call, and we're talking about our life experiences and all that. And we're on the phone for like 3-4 hours,
Wow.
right? So we're like, whose house is it next time? Even though we're all on video call, and who's bringing the snacks and all that. And then you realize that those are your friends. They are actually your friends, because there's no guy
no
man.
airs.
There are no airs. They're vulnerable. We can share our vulnerabilities, and you know that in sharing those vulnerabilities, you're sharing it in a safe space. You're not sharing it with someone who's going to use it against you or to belittle you.
You know, you said that like, or you've insinuated that like twice already. I'm thinking that happens.
It does.
It does.
It does.
People you think you're close to, you confide in them, and they use it against you.
That is true.
They use it against you. I mean, sometimes it's malicious, sometimes it's just careless talk, because whoever you think you are close to is close to someone else
as
well. So your confidence that you've shared with them, they can also share it with, you know, a friend. And to be very honest, I've been burnt. And when I say burnt, as in I've been on both sides. So I've had relationships with people where they've shared intimate things with me, and I felt I was close enough to someone else and
that would
shared
keep that
and shared it, and it got back to the person, and I lost that relationship with the person that was very dear, you know, and close to me. So I've come to realize that it happens, because it happened to me on both sides. I was the culprit and the victim, you know, on both sides. So I've learned to.
You are definitely right. Also, because it might not even be concerning a third party. It might just be if you've had a friend for a very long time, and both. I keep saying everybody is growing every time, so you're just evolving. You're all growing, and then you're like, oh, you know, something happens, and you're like, I'm talking to you about this, and this is how you react. Really, and then it just changes a lot of things. You're like, I didn't see this all along. So yes, it doesn't even need to involve a third party. It might just be both of you being out of that phase that you were at.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't mean you're public enemy number one. It's just that you're just now at different places.
Yeah.
You know,
Possibly.
that happens too. Thank you. We'll be right back.